Hi, in this video I want to teach you how to knit this hat. It's very easy to make, and here is the list of material you're going to need to make it. To make this hat, the yarn I'm going to use is from Loops and Thread Impeccable Bright. I have 128 grams, it's 100% acrylic, and the color is Lippy. This one, and it's medium 4. This one is Isaac Mizrahi Craft. It's premier yarn. I have 70 grams. It's 39% cotton, 39% acrylic, 17% metallic, and 5% paillette. And the color is Sheridan Square. And it's medium 4. You're gonna need your needles. And the one I'm gonna use, they are 7 millimeters. You're going to need tapestry needle, scissors, and measuring tape. I made already one for my video in Spanish, and I use red heart with wool for this one because it was the ones that the color matched the closest. So I did this one with red heart with wool. And then this one, because these are the two colors that go the closest when I work with. So I'm going to use Impeccable. So you can use any type of yarn as long as they go with your accent yarn. The stitch we're going to do is a multiple of 3. So I'm going to custom 60 stitches, and this is adult size. So I'm going to wrap my yarn on the hook like this. The two together, the two strands of yarn, 30 times. That way I will know the amount of yarn to leave for my casting on. So let's pretend that that is 30 times. So what you're going to do, once you have your 30 times, you're going to take them out of the needle and you're going to fold it in half like this. And when you get to the tip of that tail, you're going to mark there, and that's the amount of yarn that you need to leave for your 60 stitches. I'm going to do that off camera, and then I will show you how we're going to cast on. This is the amount of yarn that you need to leave for your casting on. So here I'm still holding to that piece there. So there I'm going to do a slip knot. I'm going to grab my needle. Okay. This is the yarn that I left for my casting on, and this one here is the one attached to my 2 ball of yarn. So you're going to grab it here to make a good tension, and you're going to pass your thumb and your pointing finger through those strands of yarn there. So you're going to bring it here, you're going to pass it through there. You see they make crossing top of each other, so it make a loop. You're going to pass your needle through that loop, twist your wrist, and you're going to wrap your yarn on the needle, that yarn that is in the other finger, and you're going to pass it through that loop. You're going to move your thumb, and you cast on your second stitch. Again, you create a loop, you wrap your yarn on the tip of the needle, your thumb, and you cast on your third stitch. You can cast on any way you are used to cast on. If you have done this before, you go ahead and cast on your 60 stitches. I'm going to continue casting on off camera, just like so, till I have my 60 stitches. And make sure that you bring the 2 strands of yarn with the same tension. Okay? And if you find a thick yarn like this one already with the sparkle, you don't need to put 2 together. Once you have your 60 stitches, you're going to tie a knot with the tail that you have left. Not too tight, but just enough to secure the first stitch. So now we're gonna do from 4 to 5 centimeters of the border. That will be 2 net and 2 purl. Okay. So 1, 2 net, and 2 pearls. One, 2 net, and 2 pearl. You're gonna do this for 4 to 5 centimeters. Okay. Here I'm about to finish my first row with 2 net, now the second row. So when I finish with 2 net, I'm gonna start with 2 pearls. You're gonna net the net and pearls the pearls. So in this side, when you do a net, and the other side is pearls. So here, if you look, in this side, in the back was pearl, and in this side they're net. So you're gonna net these two. And pearl these two. So like that, you're going to continue until you have from 4 to 5 centimeters. So everybody net differently. That's why I'm giving you the measurements, because maybe you're using a different type of yarn or different type of needle. So go by the measurement, not by the number of rows. Here I have my 5 centimeters, and I finish in the right side of the piece. And how you know when you done the finish in the right side is because the tail is on the front. Okay, each time the tail is in the same side at the tip of the needle, that means you are working and gonna work in the right side. If the tail is in the back like that and the tip of the needle is in here, that means this will be working in the wrong side. So now we're going to work on the right side of the piece. And this stitch is going to be just a single repetition, either in the right side or the wrong side of the hat. You're going to purl 1, you're going to yarn over, and you're going to do 2 together. And that's it. That's what you're going to do in the entire hat. You're going to purl 1, yarn over, and 2 together, and a purl stitch. You're going to purl 1, yarn over, and 2 together, and a purl stitch. Purl 1, yarn over, and 2 together, and a purl stitch. You're gonna purl one. And the yarn over is when you wrap your yarn around the needle like this. And two together and a purl stitch. You're going to continue doing this all the way to the end. You have to make sure that you don't skip the yarn over, because remember you are putting two together, so that yarn over is adding the stitch that you are decreasing in here. And every single one is in a purl stitch. Here I'm about to finish row number 1. 1 purl, yarn over, and 2 together. And that was row number 1. You see now working in the wrong side of the piece, so the tail is in the other end. So we're going to start again exactly the same. Every single row is the same. 1 purl, yarn over, and 2 together. Now the 2 together is that yarn over, it's a loop that you have there, and the next one. You do those 2 together. One purl, yarn over, and again you see like that, it's this one and this one together, those 2 together, and a purl stitch. One purl, yarn over, and 2 together. Always the 2 together is in the front, is that you wrap around on your needle, that yarn over. You see, it's always on the front. So before you those going together, you're gonna yarn over in this needle, into those 2 together. That's how you keep track what stitch go where. So this purl, yarn over, and 2 together. I'm about to finish row number 2. Yarn over and 2 together. Now again, row number 3, exactly the same, and every single row until you have, from the pen, if you want just a regular hat, you will do a total of 22 centimeters, but if you want 20 to 22, if you want a slouchy hat, you can do around 25. And you have to make sure, remember you are increasing 1 stitch here by doing yarn over, you're increasing 1 stitch, and then you are decreasing 1 stitch when you do these 2 together. So you have to make sure that you do your yarn over and the 2 together, otherwise you'll be increasing in the entire hat or decreasing, and you are not doing the stitch right. So it's 1 purl, yarn over, and 2 together. So I'm going to continue off camera. The hat that I did in my Spanish video is like a slouchy hat and is 25 centimeters in total. what I'm gonna be like. So once I have done quite a few rows, I will show you how the stitch starts to look like. Here I wanted to show you how the stitch is coming on so far, and it's amazing. I love this combination of the two yarn with the sparkle. They look fantastic. I don't know, yeah, there. And here in the back. And the two sides, they're exactly the same, since we work in the stitch the same back and forth. So you can sew this hat really well and can be reversible. I love this stitch. It's amazing. So I'm working in row number 10 and I have quite a few more rows to go. And as I work, I will decide if I want this one slouchy like the other one or not. For the other one, the one that I did in Spanish, I did 25 centimeters in total. Here I finished my 25 centimeters long, and that is from here. And remember, I did this separate. I don't count those rows. So from the beginning of the stitch to the end, I did 36 rows, but I measured 25 centimeters in total. Remember, go by the centimeters because maybe you're using different type of yarn, different type of needles. You knit more tight or more loose, so maybe don't gonna give you exactly the same length, the amount of row that you're gonna do if you do the same as mine. Go by 25 centimeters if you want a slouchy hat, and that is from the border to the through here. So now we're going to start to cast off or bind off, and I'm starting to do that through the right side of the piece. Remember, this is where the tail is. So I'm going to start with one purl. Now, instead of doing the yarn over, we're going to do two together. No yarn over in this row. One purl and two together. So we are decreasing each time we do the two together, we are decreasing one. So one purl and two together. One purl and two together, and the purl stitch, remember that. Like that, you're going to continue all the way until you finish this row. The next row is just purl, no decrease, and this for me is row number 38. So you're going to purl every stitch. Like this all the way to the end of this row. Here in row 39, I'm going to do another decrease. So it will be one purl and two together and a purl stitch. One purl and two together. One purl. The other yarn is underneath and and two together. Like that, you're going to continue with this row. Here in the next row, again, we're going to do a decrease. So this is row number 40. Again, we're going to do the same. one pearl and two pearls together. One pearl and two together. And this for me is row number 40. Now we're gonna do the last row of decrease, and we're gonna purl two together all the way to the end. Two, two, and two. So I have two, and always grabbing the strand of yarn if you're using double like me. Remember, I'm using two yarn. That was row number 41. Now I'm gonna cut my yarn long enough for sewing, and like I always say, it's better to have extra yarn than not to have enough for sewing. So you're gonna cut your yarn. I'm gonna get my tapestry needle, and I will show you how to finish your hat. Now with the tapestry needle, we're gonna start taking down our stitches. Remember, you have to make sure that you grab every strand of yarn, every stitch, because if you lose one, you'll have to start your hat again. So this is a very important part. Like this. Now when you pull your yarn, I always like to pass my yarn through here twice to make this nice and secure. So I'm going to pass it one more time through all those loops. Okay. Now here, you see, at the top will be like that. I'm going to sew in a zigzag from this side of the hat to this one here. Matching every row. Remember, you have to work very even, otherwise one part of your hat will be longer than the other one if you don't. I'm going to continue off camera and I will show you the end result. Here I finished sewing my hat and the seam is just right there, but you don't see it. It's amazing how this hat looks, because when you give this hat away, people don't gonna believe that you made this hat. They look professionally done, you know, like something that you will find in a high-end store. Like really beautiful hat. Now I'm gonna put it on in my model and I will show you the end result. Well, here I have the two hats. This one I made for you guys in English. It's the pink one, and this in cream I made for my Spanish tutorial. So I just wanted to show you the amount of yarn that I have left from the 128 gram of this one. I have enough yarn here left for making a collar or a small scarf for a combination with the hat. So I will do that in my next video. For this one that I did in Spanish, the yarn only have 100 grams, so I don't have enough yarn to do anything with it, you know, like a scarf or a collar or anything. So this one was the 100 grams. But with this one I have enough to make another hat, scarf, collar, whatever I decide. But I will need a new one of these. But with this one from loops and thread impeccable, I have enough for that. Well, here is the end result. I hope you guys like it and give it a thumbs up. And subscribe to my channel if you are not already a subscriber. And you make this hat and you want me to send me some pictures, you can do it through my Facebook page, Ruby Stedman. On the description box, I'm gonna leave the link for the scarf that match the set of the hat. I wish you have a beautiful day. Bye.